Hello everybody, I'm back once again. How's everybody doing today? God is still speaking. Yes, He is. I want to talk to you about something God was talking to me about. The Lord has, over the years, He have been talking to me about the millennial reign, which is something most pastors don't teach on the millennial reign. I don't know very many pastors that teach on the millennial reign, or anybody for that matter. I mean, you can go on the internet and you can find teachings concerning millennial reign, but it's not a lot. And usually when anybody teach on the millennial reign, they basically just read what's already on the script. Okay? It's not too many people have a revelation on the millennial reign. There are some, but it's not many. Okay? And I'm not trying to make myself look outstanding or anything like that. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just simply stating the facts. It's just not, you don't, and the facts can be proven. Just go on the internet and look. There's not a lot of talk about the millennial reign of Christ. We talk 10 times, 20 times more about the tribulation, 30 times more about the tribulation. I don't know, many more times about the tribulation than we do the millennial reign. And the tribulation is only 3.5 years. It's not 7. It's 3.5 years. And you can find this in scripture probably about 4 or 5. You can find this. This can be proven in the book of Daniel, in the book of Revelation. 3.5 years. Time and a half at times. That's 3.5 years. From the abomination of desolation, you're going to have 1,235 days. I think it is. Might not be exact, but 1,235 some days. 3.5 years. The woman's going to flee into the wilderness. The woman, the remnant of Israel, which is the woman, is going to flee into the wilderness for 3.5 years. A time and a half a time. The tribulation is on 3.5 years, y'all. Okay. So when we talk about the tribulation 20, 30, 40 times more, I mean, you can turn on. As a matter of fact, if you look on the internet for anything on the millennial reign, what you might find one video that's current or new. All the rest of them are years old. Okay, all the rest of them. But we talk more about the tribulation than we do the millennial reign. And I guess for good reason. I mean, we want to know what's going to take place in the tribulation, especially if some of us who believe we're going to be here. You will be here. You will be here, and you will find out. Sometimes I just tell people, just wait and see. You're going to find out. They're going to be issuing the mark. Okay? They're going to be issuing the mark. We're going to still be here. Okay, you're going to see 180-pound hail balls fall from the sky. We're going to still be here. All that's going to be happening during the tribulation. But we talk a lot about the tribulation. It's only 3.5 years. But the millennial reign is 1,000 years. Do you know what you're going to be doing during the millennial reign? I tell you, whenever I think about the millennial reign, I feel good. I feel better. I feel better. I don't care how I feel. When I think about the millennial reign, I feel better. You're going to be freer than you ever can imagine. You will not be bound by any rules, any laws. Okay? Many of you will be wealthy, very powerful, and very handsome and very gorgeous. Very beautiful. And you will be in charge. Okay? You will be in charge. The Bible says Jesus Christ is King of kings and Lord of lords. So he's king over the kings of the earth. We will be kings in the earth. But if you don't make the high rank as a king, even if you fall in the category of a lord, which is the lowest rank, okay, the Lord is the lowest, you still will be greater than any mortal here on earth. You still will have authority over any mortal here on earth, even if you just fall in the category of lords, of the lords. Okay, so I've made some videos on the millennial reign before. So if you wanna go back, look back over my videos, and you see some of them and listen to some of them, you can learn some things about the millennial reign. But what the other night, what the Lord was explaining to me is that when we get back here from paradise, from heaven, okay, or when we are, or you can say when we are assigned, because some people don't believe we're going to heaven, but yeah, come on, man, we're going to heaven. When you die, you're going to heaven. He said, I go to prepare a place for you, that where I am, you may be also. That's heaven, okay? Paradise is also in heaven. That's where the saints are at. Okay, Paul said to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. Okay, you're going to be with you. When you die, you go to heaven. You go to paradise. All right? Okay, to where the New Jerusalem and all that is. That's if you are... If that's a part of your reward. Everybody's not going to the New Jerusalem. They might be saved, but they won't be able to enter into the New Jerusalem, because the New Jerusalem is for those who, let me see, it's for like the priests and those who were close to God here on earth. See, there are people that's going to be saved, like the thief on the cross. His reward was just paradise. Okay? Everybody's not going into the New Jerusalem. Everybody don't have a mansion there in New Jerusalem. Okay? But let me see, I got off of what I was trying to say. But I forgot what I was about to say. Oh yeah, when he was talking to me, he was explaining to me when we get back here, you got to understand, when we get back here, we will get back here after World War III. Okay? When he began to set up his kingdom here. Did you read Revelation chapter 20, verse 4, verse 5, and verse 6? It tells us that Christ, when he comes back, he's going to set up his kingdom here on earth. And I think in Daniel 7. Daniel 7th chapter explains that Christ setting up his kingdom here on earth. Also in Revelation 11 chapter, okay, talks about Jesus Christ setting up his kingdom here on earth. So when he began to set up his kingdom here, you got to remember that the earth. Read also Isaiah, the 3rd chapter, especially the last two verses. Okay, the last 3 verses. Isaiah, the 3rd chapter, the last 3 verses. It tells us how the world is going to be when you get back here. It's going to be in shambles. It's going to be in shambles. Okay, the buildings are going to be destroyed. There's a scripture that talks about every high thing was going to be brought down before Christ's return. Every high thing. Okay, let me see, can I find that real quick? Yeah, Isaiah the 2nd chapter. It tells you the loftiness of man will be brought low. Okay, All the tall skyscrapers that you see now, they coming down. All of them. The bridges, all the pride of man, everything that man takes pride in is coming down. It's going to be destroyed. It's going to become worthless. Okay, even gold is going to become worthless. Money is going to become worthless. Just before he returned, the pride of man is going to be destroyed. Men who consider themselves great, they're coming down. They're going to be brought down. They're going to be made humble. They're going to be humble. Organizations like organizations of any kind that thrives on and in pride is going to be brought down. Okay, so before he comes back, the earth is going to be in shambles. Okay, and here's what surprised me is that we're going to have to start from scratch, even though we will be like Christ. We will have our new glorified bodies. We will have been to paradise and heaven and all that, and got to know God, seeing God face to face, seeing Christ face to face, and He will have downloaded tremendous knowledge in our minds and in our hearts and souls. We're still going to, when we come back, this is what surprised me. When we come back, we're still going to have to start from scratch. Okay, because we will not have our physical glorified bodies in heaven. Well, let me back up. When we die, our spirit and our soul goes to heaven, and our bodies remain in the ground. But there are some people in heaven now with their bodies, okay? But us, right now, we will go to heaven without our bodies. So when we come back here, when we get our bodies, we're going to have to start from scratch. We're going to have to learn how to function and operate in this world with our bodies, with our spiritual bodies. Now, our bodies will be spiritual, but they will function like, our bodies will be physical, but it will function like a spirit. It will be physical, tangible bodies, but they will function like a spiritual body. Okay, that means they can be visible, invisible. They can vanish, can appear, reappear, disappear. It can go through walls, fly, all of that, just like a spirit. Okay, but anyway, when we come back here, we're gonna have to start from scratch, y'all. You're going to have to learn how to, it's going to be a process all over again, learning things. Okay, the difference though, when you get back here, you're going to learn much faster, okay, then than you do now. Okay, like right now, it might take the average person, probably 10 years to master a piano. Okay, I don't know how long it take, 5 years, 10 years. 15, some people, I don't know, to just completely master music and the piano. Well, and I know some kids now, they master the piano in a year. I mean, some kids, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, man, they master piano, keyboard in a year. But I'm not talking about those extraordinary people. I'm talking about just ordinary people. It might take us 10 years to learn the piano, learn the guitar, learn how to build a house, or learn how to whatever. But when we come back here in our new glorified bodies, to learn how to play the piano might take you 5 minutes. Okay? 5 minutes and you play anything you want. All right? I also find out too that I won't say you make mistakes, but you might make a wrong choice or something. And that's okay. I was surprised to find out that you can make a wrong choice. This is going to be the reason to have the crown of righteousness. Because when a person has the crown of righteousness, that makes him right, regardless of what he do. Okay? even if you make a wrong choice, or it's going to still turn out right. It's still going to turn out good. Okay? People that are crowned with righteousness. Okay? That's what that crown is going to do for you. But yeah, it's possible that, because one time I was playing a guitar in the spiritual realm, and I noticed I hit one or two wrong notes. And when I found out it was wrong, I said, "Oh, okay, I got it right. Didn't mess up on it no more." But I was surprised that I hit that wrong note. But you are going to learn how to do things, whereas it would take you 10, 15 years here, you're going to learn how to do it within just a matter of minutes in the millennial reign. Whereas it would take you 10 or 15 years in this life. But in the life to come, it'll take you like 5, 10 minutes. You know it. You have it all. Okay? So, but we're going to have to start from scratch. And what I saw, this is what surprised me. What I saw was we had makeshift buildings, makeshift churches, church buildings, makeshift even automobiles. We built, we added things to our automobiles and made them into places to sleep and places to stay and things to do, and to travel and whatnot. When we first got back here, we had makeshift things. Okay, and I was like, wow, I didn't think. And when we got the church, wow, this is really surprising. In church, wow, I'm not gonna talk on that. We're gonna talk on that later. But yeah, we started with makeshift things that wasn't, because when we get back, y'all, the buildings and the streets and stuff is just going to be torn up. A lot of them. Not every completely thing, but for the most part. Okay? So we're going to have to make do. And we're going to take what we want. Now we know this is true because anytime a nation conquers another nation, well, that land belongs to them. When the English came here, they took the land, the houses, whatever they wanted from the people who resided here, right? Same with the people in Canada, the British, the Australians. They took the land, they took the homes, they took whatever they wanted. Okay? And we're going to do the same thing. When Christ returns, we're going to confiscate homes. We're going to confiscate houses. Okay, for the people that did not serve Christ and they rebelled against him, we're going to kick them out of their homes. They're going to have to go underground. They're going underground. The Bible said that the men, Revelation 6:16 lets us know that there's going to be people hiding underground. Okay? There's a scripture that says, Revelation 6:16 says, and they said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face that sitteth on the throne. So they're going to go underground. We're going to confiscate their houses. We're going to confiscate their buildings. I saw one instance in the millennial reign. God told me, my pastor, and his pastor, and a few other people, he told us, he said, I want y'all to go to this building. The Lord told us, go to this building. There's a certain building, there's a particular building here in my city. And he said, I want you to go there and wait until you hear from me. And when we got there was a huge hole in this building looked like it's about 20, 25 stories, floors. But there was a huge hole in that building. It looked like maybe a bomb blew. You know how it looks when a bomb explodes and knock a hole in the building. Well, that's what it looked like. But God told us, he said, go there And the Lord told us. He said, go there and wait until you hear from me. So we went there, and we just waited. My brother sit there, my pastor sit there. He was playing a little game, waiting for, we were sitting there talking, and we were just waiting. But what we was waiting for, we was waiting for him to tell us what he wanted us to do with that building. It's a brand new building. It's a what you call it, medical research building. Those people got a lot of money. And he told us what he wanted us to do with that building. I don't know if he wanted us to turn it into a recreation center or a medical building. Now, there will still be medical buildings in the millennial reign, but they won't be hospitals where people are laying up sick. They won't be sick. The sick, okay, we will do away with that. Okay? God is going to use the leaves of the trees to heal the nation, to heal people. But there are going to be things we're going to be doing to their bodies. There are going to be doctors who are going to be able to do things to people's bodies to make their bodies better, make them healthier, run faster, see better, all that. We're still going to have medical. But it's not going to be like it is now, where it's just a lot of it. But we waited there to see what he wanted us to do with that building. We didn't answer to nobody. We didn't have to answer to the owner of the building or nothing. And it's the same with a lot of houses. I went into a house and I took the house from these people. And I believe I gave it to some people that needed, some families that needed. Now, man, the government take houses from people now. They raise your taxes, so they tax you on your house every year. They tax you on your house, the same house. They call it personal property tax. And if it's personal property, you shouldn't tax me on my personal property. It's personal. But they take people's houses now, okay, through taxes, and put people they contributing to the homelessness. I'll tell you, man, this is a sick government, sick world. This is a demonic system, economic system. I'll be so glad when Christ get back here. I will be so glad. I'm telling you, man, I'm waiting with great anticipation. I'm just trying to live right so I can stand up before him, man, and tell him, thank you, Jesus, for getting back here. Because I'm so sick of this government. Man. And the crime and stuff that's going on in this world, man. The way people treat each other. But anyway, we're going to confiscate homes, okay, properties. And people that did not obey God, it doesn't matter if that is their property. We're going to take it if we want it. Okay, you ever heard of eminent domain? Okay, when the king wants something, see, this is the earth is going to be God's kingdom. Jesus Christ is going to be king, and the earth is going to be his domain. This will be the king's domain or the kingdom. Okay, so he can take what he wants. All right, he's going to take what he wants. But when we get back here, you might have to start off in cars that's not totally new, because again, you're going to come back to a war-torn world. Okay, and we're going to have the place is going to have to be cleaned up. The earth is going to have to be cleaned up, but we're not going to do it. Okay, they're going to be dead bodies scattered. We're not going to touch those dead bodies. In the Old Testament, we were not permitted to touch the dead bodies. We will not be permitted to touch the dead bodies in the millennial reign. Okay. Now, I believe that when you try to touch a dead body, your hand is just going to go right through it. I don't believe it's going to make any contact. But we're gonna force the mortals to clean up the cities and clean up the earth. Okay, we're gonna force them. They're gonna have to bury the dead bodies. All right, and we're gonna force them. They're gonna be forced labor in the millennial reign. Okay, they're gonna have to clean. They're gonna have to work. Now we will work as well. But this our work is going to be voluntarily. If we don't want to do it, we won't have to do it. Okay, we will not have to do it. Read Isaiah the 60th chapter, the whole chapter. Okay, they're going to have to clean, sanitize. They're going to build homes for us. Okay. They're going to build ours first. We're going to build Jesus Christ's tabernacle first. Okay? And it's going to be laid, boy. It's going to be laid. Okay? It's going to have the best of everything. We're going to put the best of everything in his tabernacle. Okay? We're going to lay it with the best gold, silver, diamonds, rubies. Okay? Now, and then we're going to build ours. The mortals are going to help us build ours. All right? That's the way that's going to work. So now, when we get back here, things are going to be the earth is going to be war-torn. But we're going to start small. Okay? The Bible said the kingdom of heaven, Matthew 13:31, is like a mustard seed. That mustard seed is buried. It's real small. It starts real small and it's buried. The kingdom of heaven is just like that, the Bible, Jesus said. And then it's going to start to germinate, and pretty soon a little sprout sticks up out the ground, and then it begins to grow very slowly and begins to grow bigger and bigger and bigger. And then he says that eventually the fowls of the air can come and rest on its branches, okay, because it has grown where now it can support other things. And this is the way the kingdom of heaven will be. This is the way we will be like in the millennial reign, okay? You might start off with a makeshift house. You might have to go and find a makeshift house, start off there. You might stay there a year, 2 years, whatever. But in the meantime, life is not going to be like it is now. You know, like you get a makeshift house now, you'd be like, man, okay, but I'll be grateful for it. But so no, you're going to be so happy, man, that you're free. Until that little makeshift house is not going to make any difference. You're going to be so happy that you're free and that you have superpowers. Okay? You will have superpowers. So you won't feel bad. Okay? You're going to remember where you come from. You're going to remember that at one time you was in this physical body here and you were very miserable, but you didn't realize how miserable you were. And you're going to realize that you came from, the life that you come from was much worse than where you at the moment. So you're going to be happy, even if you start in a makeshift house. But eventually you're going to grow and move to a bigger house, another bigger house, and it's going to get more bigger, better, beautiful, okay? Eventually you're going to have some beautiful stones, gemstones in your door. Your doorknob might be a huge ruby. Okay? Might be a huge ruby. Just imagine you walk up to your doorknob, people walk up to your doorknob, and there's a huge ruby as your doorknob. And your whole door is silver, made out of all silver. I mean, man, that'd be pretty nice, wouldn't it? So but anyway, we're gonna start small. We're going to start small, and we're going to grow, and we're going to expand. So even our churches is going to start hole-in-the-wall buildings, some of them. Some churches are going to go back to their old church that they started from. Okay? But eventually they're going to grow. We're going to grow. We're going to expand. Okay? We're going to improve. Eventually, and we're not going to go get ahead of the world, the mortals. Okay, as they advance, we will advance. Okay, because we're going to live here with them. But now, when we leave here and go and visit the bright and morning star. Okay, I believe the bright and morning star. This is my revelation on the bright and morning star. I'm not going to talk about it right now, but I'm just going to share with you what my revelation on it. The bright and morning star is another planet. Okay, Jesus Christ represents this bright and morning star, and I believe it's another planet. Satan was also called the morning star. I believe this is another planet where only holy beings go. And holy beings there can express themselves there like they cannot express themselves among mortals. They can express themselves. They can reveal themselves. They can talk about things. They can reveal things that God has put in them. God has done for them. God has rewarded them that we cannot do here among mortals. There are rewards that God is going to give us that we cannot express here among the mortals. So we will have to go to the bright and morning star, and we will be able to express our talents, our gifts, whatever that God has blessed us with. We will even know there are ways that we will celebrate each other there on the bright and morning star that we cannot celebrate in a way that we can't celebrate each other here in front of the mortals. Okay? Because it will interfere with their growth. See, during this time, the mortals are going to have to they're going to have to be saved. Okay? When we get back here, we're going to start small. Okay? We're going to start small. But we're going to grow, and eventually we're going to grow like this mustard seed tree, and it's going to cover the sky. Okay? The Bible said that the governments of the world will be on Christ's shoulders. They're going to be on his shoulder. He's going to be carrying the world. Okay, so also in Isaiah 61:4, it says that we're going to rebuild the homes. We're going to rebuild homes, rebuild the cities. We're going to rebuild the cities. We're going to rebuild the homes. Now, I know some people will take the scripture and they'll spiritualize it. They'll say, well, this is spiritually meaning. And that could be true. You can get some spiritual meaning out of that, yeah. But I'm not dealing with the spiritual side of this. Okay? I'm dealing with the physical side of this during the millennial reign. We will rebuild cities. We will rebuild homes. And the mortals are going to do the work. Just read the chapter. You'll see. Okay, they're going to be our servants. And if you want to work, though, you will be able to work if you want to. But if you don't want to, you go and do what you want to do. You want to explore the earth. You want to explore the planets. You want to go treasure hunting, whatever. Okay. And I saw one lady. She was working in a grocery store, but that's what she wanted to do. She was behind the cash register. But we are going to show them how things are supposed to be done. Okay, we're going to show them how things are supposed to be done. Operated in a grocery store, in the police department, in the government, or whatever. Okay, the God's people are going to show them how it's supposed to be done. So we're going to rebuild these cities. We're going to rebuild these homes. We're going to rebuild these neighborhoods. We're going to put them to work, though, the mortals. Okay. So yeah, we're going to start small. We're going to start small. We're not going to start off big. And another thing I found out that when Christ returned, the kings and presidents of this world, they still going to be here. A lot of them are going to still be here. The kings and presidents, governors, prime ministers, whatever these leaders and mayors, they still going to be here. Okay? But eventually they're all going to die out. The Bible said they're all going to die out. They're all going to eventually fade out. Okay? In the book of Enoch says that these leaders are going to come before Christ several times and ask for forgiveness. He gonna tell them no every time. That's what the book of Enoch said. I wish I remember exactly where it's found in the book of Enoch. He gonna tell them no every time. Every time they come for him for an appeal or to be to reconsider their case and all that, He's going to say no every time. He's going to say you knew what you were doing. And He's going to reject them every time. Eventually, they're all going to die out. And the kingdoms of this world are going to become ours. Okay? The city's going to become ours. He's going to put your name on a street. He's going to put your name on a building somewhere. He's going to put your name, okay, on some important place, some church name, some Christian name. We got names. These people. Some of these people. We got George Washington named on a lot of stuff. And some of these people were devil worshippers. Okay, some of them were. Columbus, and we got their names on streets and cities. And some of these people were devil worshippers. Some of them, I ain't gonna say all of them, but some of them didn't know God. But that's the pride of man, as I was talking about earlier. That's the pride of man. It's coming down. It's going to be torn down. The Eiffel Tower is coming down. It's going to be destroyed. We ain't going to pay no homage to that junk. The Mona Lisa painting is going to be torn up, destroyed, burned up. Going to throw it in a volcano. I don't care how much it's worth. It's going in a volcano. The pride of man is going to be destroyed. Okay? So, our names are going up on buildings and streets. You're going to see our name. Okay? So, and we're going to have, the mortals going to rebuild the cities for us. They're going to be our servants. All right? So we're going to start small, y'all, but we're going to grow. Okay? Eventually the cars are going to, they almost got cars. Cars drive themselves now, but you're going to have whatever kind of car you want. Okay? Whatever kind of car you want. It's not going to be, if you want a car to drive itself, that's fine. If you want a car, we're going to have plenty of them. I saw the aircrafts in the millennial reign were not those jet propulsion, wing aerodynamic jet propulsion crafts like we got now. But they were flat. They were flat like this. They were made like this, except maybe a little longer, like that. This is how they look, and they went along just like this in the air, just like this cell phone. And people are going to be on those things. They're going to be, they will have anti-gravity propulsion, I guess, think you call it, anti-gravity. They're going to float in the air, and we're gonna be up there, and just celebrate and enjoy ourselves just like you're on a cruise ship. Okay, those are the type of crafts they're going to have. Slender, flat, elongated crafts. Okay? So things are going to change. They're going to change big time. Another thing I saw in the millennial reign was buses. I don't know why I saw so many buses. And these buses was huge. They were bigger than what they are now. Much bigger. And it looked like a lot of people catching buses. And also at the marriage supper, God gave me a glimpse of the marriage supper here on earth. When Christ come back to Jerusalem, there were planes, one plane after the other flying in, landing, then another one comes, then another one will come, just one after another all day. This is when this first started, when the millennial reign first started, and it's just one after the other. And then I saw these huge buses just lined up, just all the way down the street. Buses lined up, people getting on, getting off at the marriage supper of the Lamb, okay, or at this meeting. See, the mortals will be allowed to come too. Some of them will be allowed to come. Some of them will be allowed to be there. They may not be there at the supper, but they will be there. They will be there in the city. See, when people find out, and you remember there's a scripture that says that.
Bible.com, Isaiah chapter 43 verses 6 to 7 New King James Version. Bring my sons from afar, and my daughters from the ends of the earth. Everyone who is called by my name, whom I have created for my glory. I have formed him, yes, I have made him.
Yeah, that's Isaiah 43, 6 and 7. Okay? They're going to be people that's going to be coming from everywhere to Jerusalem, to Israel. Okay? To gather to see the king. Okay? Now, everybody's not going to run up there and, okay, that's just not how it's done. But people are going to be there in Jerusalem celebrating, man. It's going to be a big celebration. Okay? It's going to be a big celebration. I saw plane after plane coming in and landing. Man. It brings tears to my eyes just thinking about it now. That's man, I got to be there. I saw all those buses just lined up, people getting on and off those buses. And some of those people, when they finished, they left. Plane take off. And then more come in. So that scripture there, Isaiah 43, 6 and 7. It tells us that the people that's all over the world is going to be coming to Jerusalem to see the Lord. Okay? All right. Yeah, we're going to start small, but hey, we're going to get started. Man, listen. I think what's happening here when you hear people talk about the millennial reign, while a lot of people are just not interested, they think it's way off somewhere. It's way off. They think it's way down the road. So there's nothing to be really excited about. They probably feel like, I'll die and go to heaven before that happens. You probably will. Most of us will probably die and see the Lord before the millennial reign. But as I said the other day, prophecy is like a road sign. If I tell you such and such is going to happen or this is going to happen, then you see it happen. Then that lets you know that, okay, we're on the right road to the second coming. Okay? When y'all see China invade Taiwan, when y'all see we go cashless society, when y'all see the White House on fire, and I'm not threatening, that's not a threat. I'm saying this is what I saw in a dream. Okay, this is not a threat. I don't want nobody come knocking on my door. You said you was going to set the White House on fire. No, I said this is what I saw in a dream. These are things I saw in dreams. When you see these things, know that you're on the road to the second coming of Christ. And it's not long. It's not a long time. Okay? Thinking about the millennial reign, and let me back up. Know that it's not long. The tribulation is only 3.5 years. After the tribulation, you're going into the millennial reign. Okay? Everybody who has done you wrong and mistreated you, they're gonna see your reward. And hopefully they will get rewarded too. Hopefully they are forgiven. I hope. I don't wish hell on nobody. I don't care what they did. Hopefully they get saved and they're there too. And everything is all right between all of us. But whether they're there or not, they're going to see your reward. Okay? Man, this is exciting to me, man. I don't know. I don't seem like a very exciting person, but believe me, just the thought of that kind of freedom. I don't know if I talked about us Christians being superheroes. There are super saints coming. Yes, I did. Super saints coming. But okay, get ready. Get ready. These are exciting times we're headed for. And life is going to be the way you want it. The way you want it. You say, now, brother, now wait a minute now. Not the way I want it. Yes, the way you want it. Life is going to be the way you want it. Now, wait a minute. Now, I can think of some things now I want, but the Bible says it's a sin. It won't be no sin then. I can think of some things I want now, But the Bible said it's a sin. It ain't gonna be no sin then. You won't be able to commit no sin. Then, okay, life is gonna be the way you want it. But in the meantime, we gotta do what Christ wants. Okay? And then when you get there, you will still do what he wants, but it'll be what you want too. Okay? And what you want will be what he wants, and what he wants will be what you want. All right? So okay, that's what I had. I didn't mean to stretch this video out 45 minutes, but I did. So we will start small, y'all, but we're gonna grow. Okay? We will start. You might not know how to do something right away, but it ain't gonna take you long to do it. Learn how to do it. Okay? All right. God is still speaking through visions and dreams. I appreciate you guys listening. You guys hang in there. I hang in here. Boy, I tell you, boy. This Christian life can be a challenge, but I'm appreciated. God is keeping me. He's keeping me. And you guys hang in there. God is still speaking. I appreciate if you guys share my videos as well. All right? All right. God bless you all.